even without your master's, you were struggling to find a good opportunity. Was that the case, or?
What if I would have went all in on soccer? What if I did put in that extra work? What if I didn't go out and drink with the boys the night before I had a pitch?
Like, siento que la cagué en el deporte y gracias a Dios se me volvió a dar otra oportunidad ahora en el mundo del negocio. Y en esta segunda oportunidad no voy a cagar, bro. My brother, we're back. Ahora tenemos a Jonny, Wealth Gap Podcast, episode 5. Jonny, I called it the Wealth Gap Podcast. By chance, do you know what the average median income is for someone in the state of California?
I think we went over that. It's like 55,000. Wow. 39.
So this year he's having his best year. We'll get into that in a little bit. But getting close to 3 times as much as what the average earner in the state of California is making. So, my brother, we want to introduce you. He's not one to be putting himself out there too much, but you guys will be getting to know him very soon because now we have Dani here helping us, promoting the entire Next Gen family. But Jonny, thank you once again for coming out, brother.
Thank you, brother.
So I'm excited for our audience, our followers, to get to know you a little bit more. Like we said, we don't put a lot of stuff out there, and when you do, it's a lot of times like mortgage specific. But now I want the family, the followers, the audience to get to know you a little bit more on the personal side. So let's start there. Like, who was Jonny growing up? Where did you grow up? And tell us a little bit about your upbringing.
Yeah. So real quick, born in Mexico, something I'm very proud of.
What part?
Guadalajara.
Okay.
Guadalajara, Jalisco. Got here when I was 4. I had my 5th birthday here. And it's kind of weird. I don't remember much from before then, but anyways, got here when I was 5. We landed in Wilmington, California. As most people from the South Bay or Southern California, if you know Wilmington, it's got a bad rep, right? So it's like we landed in the ghetto, I guess you could say, but it's something that I'm also very proud of. And that kind of
Cholos in there, really?
Yeah, I saw a guy get shot.
No way. That's crazy.
I was like 7 years old, so
I saw 2 shootings growing up too.
Yeah, like drugs, like it's just the barrio, and
yeah.
In the early 90s, early 2000s, obviously it was pretty bad. But I think that's I wear it with pride, being from Wilmington. So and seeing those that we went to school with, que ahorita ya no están in, it's not easy to get out of there, but when you do, it's a beautiful thing to be able to look back and see others that are grinders and that are also pride. I guess we'll call them Wilmeros, right? That are men of faith and then family men, and some good little community there with a lot of pride for sure. So shout out to Wilmington. But yeah, so that baseball is kind of what kept me off the streets, if you will. Y luego más que nada, yeah, baseball, school, and then that's pretty much what you're gonna know about me. It's baseball, family, God, business, and
how about in school? Were you academic scholar?
Yeah, I was.
Really?
I was actually. Yeah. So being from Wilmington, there's I should have gone to Banning High School. My mom, since I was in middle school, she was like, you're not gonna go to Banning. Era como una pelea ahí.
¿Qué es Banning?
And Banning High School is my home high school. So
okay.
You know, in the area where you're from.
Yeah.
That's my high school. But
okay.
I went to the rival high school.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So that was a.
So you're in middle school.
Middle school.
Your friends, a large group of friends went to.
They went to Wilmington Middle School. I went to Dawson. So there's a middle school. My mom was like, cool. Yeah.
You guys went?
In high school, I was wanting to come back to Banning.
Yeah.
All my friends that I played with, Banning High School, and yes, long story short, we ended up going to Pedro. Pero, and that's kind of where the whole baseball thing started. Because if you know me, if you hear, or at least I like to think, if you hear my name, you're gonna think baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's kind of switching it up a little bit, right? If you hear my name or something, you're gonna think baseball and business or real estate, investing. Helping, right? And San Pedro baseball really kind of helped shape, kind of essentially pave the path to what became to be I'd like to think a blessing, right? I didn't throw 95 miles an hour in high school. I didn't, I had the work ethic. I've always had the work ethic. I've always had the bulldog mentality. Like we're not gonna, we're gonna outwork somebody or whoever's on the other side of the field. But long story short, yeah, I got una beca. I got a scholarship to go play baseball at the University of New Mexico. had my first wake up call there by my.
What year did you move as like? Did you spend the 4 years out there? Because I went 2 years to a junior college, and then after the 2 years, while still living with parents, I then transferred over, got a scholarship as well. But that was like just my final 2.
The last 2 years, yeah, no. So I was, it was out of high school. So out of high school, got a full ride. Yeah, 18, and that's just, and 18. I really know and this is my biggest message to the youth, like at least people in sports now, is like you got to understand the opportunity that you have to get ahead of others that don't understand what's in front of them. I didn't know, the what I knew the hard work paid off, but I didn't know essentially how much more ahead of others I would have gotten if I would have been in the weight room earlier. If I would have known how to recover better, if I would have known like high effort, low effort, medium effort days. Like,
wow.
If I had a structure of all that, if I knew that back then, I would probably still be playing right now. I don't know.
You know what's funny? That you say that? When I was in college, bro, yo me aborrecía hacer the workout with the team because it was a lot of the deadlifts, a lot of the type of workouts you do. The deadlifts, the clinches, the squatting. A mí me gustaba anything upper body. And I remember we used to do ice baths. And I used to, me inventaba unas, bro, para pelármeles when it was time to. Now I pay for that service. You know what I mean? So it trips me out how some of the things that we were encouraged to do before, it's sometimes like till later that you realize like, man, that was good shit right there. Like I should have stuck with it. Y es lo que creo que a veces la juventud se les pierden oportunidades por no hacerle caso a los mentores, a los coaches. I look back too, bro, and I'm like, man, I know I put in work, but I still felt like I could have done more. And yes, we did achieve a good level of success in sports. I did as well. But I still get curious to know how much further I could have gone if I would have given it 100.
The what if, bro. And that what if, and you and I have talked about this in the past, and that's why I tip my hat to you, brother, and to what you and Mari are doing here, because the conversation that we have off camera, as you get, this is our first podcast ever, essentially, like sitting down and chopping it up behind the camera, but we always have these conversations. Yeah. And one thing that I always that we talked about, and we're on the subject, was like, man, like, what if I would have went all in on soccer? What if I did put in that extra work? What if I didn't go out and drink with the boys the night before I had a pitch, knowing I had a pitch,
bro,
to then fuck up the game? And like it was like I already knew I was not gonna pitch well because I didn't put I had my priorities. Excuse me, but man, fucked up. I had my priorities.
Yo también, bro.
So now that we're at this game, and that's something that you and I talked about, like, I can't let, like, we're in the big leagues now, bro. Like, you're the big leagues now. You ain't gonna show up. Like, now you want to chill. Now you want to kick back.
Wow.
One thing that it really eats me alive and like I lose sleep over is like knowing that I could have gone or done more, and I didn't, or knowing that I could have done that extra rep. We're talking sports, and I didn't, right? And that's something that I made a promise to myself, to God, to my family, that I'm not gonna. That won't be, like, we won't have a what if in business and in this whole entrepreneurship game.
That's powerful, bro. Yeah. So the things me and Jonny have talked about in private, outside of the camera here, is the fact that we were distracted 100%. While we were in college or playing the sport that we loved. So yo me pongo a pensar, bro, man, like, I can't deny the fact that, like, I know that I would also accept late invites with the fellas a ir a pistear o a hacer pendejadas. Y la verdad siento que la cagué, bro. Like, siento que la cagué en el deporte y gracias a Dios se me volvió a dar otra oportunidad ahora en el mundo del negocio. Y en esta segunda oportunidad no la voy a cagar, bro. So then, that's why sometimes I tell the fellas, like, hey, I know you guys are youngins, you guys are making good money, you guys are going to have all the temptations in the world, but if you guys are able to stay focused, then God willing, like, your dreams will come true, bro. But half of our team's on the younger side, so, it's their first opportunity. But the good thing, bro, is that you made it pro. I got to D2, bro. So I think you would have liked to have stayed in the professional league longer. Maybe I don't know, accomplish different levels of success there. But I think that's fucking dope. But let's take it there. So you got to play professional ball in Mexico. Why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, University of New Mexico, messed up in school there, went back to Harvard College for the 1 semester, and Guisito's like, all right, I'm not going to have as much fun as you had in Mexico, but within the last 2 years, también, ahí te va. Prairie View A&M, Texas. Graduated from there, and I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was going to do, so I got a job at the Boys and Girls Club. Estoy trabajando en el Boys and Girls Club. I get a call. My coach from Skylar Cullivan, shout out Coach Cullivan, he goes, hey, Jonny, you got to come back. I had a voicemail. I got this guy from Mexico, man. He's calling me. You got to call back, man. Give me a call. It was, high energy dude. I love it. So, I called him back. He's like, yeah, you got to call this guy. He knows about what happened at New Mexico. He knows about you. Just call him. Just call him tomorrow. Yeah, y le hablo. And then, Pericos de Puebla had just hired a Mexican-American GM that lived in Texas right on the border. And he went outside the box in 2015 and signed or looked for Division I or Division II collegiate players that were born in Mexico that were playing in the States. Because in 2015, in the Mexican League, which is affiliated with Major League, Minor League Baseball as a AAA level team, you couldn't have any non-Mexican born players except for like 4 guys or 4 to 6 guys, and they were usually ex-big leaguers. Okay. So long story short, it was a blessing in disguise that I was born in Mexico, and then I played in the States in collegiate ball. Y me recogieron and fui para allá. Ya duré up and down in their big leagues, minor leagues, like 3.5 years. Before I came back.
What were your biggest lessons learned from being a professional athlete?
That it's a whole nother animal, and that it's a whole nother animal, one, and then 2, that...
Can you describe what that means? Like, what does it mean to...
It's not just like... it's a whole nother animal as in like that life. Like, it's so easy to get distracted. We talked about distractions in college, bro. Distractions in the big leagues, I guess you could say. Like, we're in Mexico, right, with the guy... When I talked to the GM, he's like, brother, like, this is going to change your life. And I was like, no, so yeah, I have no other way or reason to explain why I've had God's favor in certain etapas in mi vida. Like, I just can't explain it. Like, why, like, I just can't explain that. I don't know how I got blessed with some opportunities. But the point I'm making here is that part, like, not knowing what the opportunity was at hand and not knowing the type of person, the character, the habits that a true professional has. Mm-hmm. That part, bro. That learning curve. I was just playing catch up the whole time, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I got lost too early to where I couldn't even catch up if I wanted to catch up, because there was other younger cats that were
disciplined. Estaban bien enfocados,
and they threw harder, cobraban menos. So that was another, like, man, like. You really, it comes down to like being able to look in the mirror and know that, like, how hard did you work? Like, do you deserve this shit? Like, did you really put in the work, dog, to still be around? Like, like, this fool was out. He wasn't out last night. You were out. These guys were out. You could tell. These guys weren't. You could tell. So, and a word I like to use when I coach and stuff, I used to coach is like, eventually those that are not with the program or that don't fit the culture will expose themselves. Solitos. Not even, you don't have to do nothing. And so that was my takeaway is my inability to not see and take advantage of the opportunity at hand.
En el mundo del negocio es lo mismo, bro. Like, every level has a new set of disciplines. And if you fail to meet the demand, then guess what? You're either going to stay stagnant or even drop from that level. It's the same shit. That's just crazy. So you said there's 3. That was 1. It was a different animal. Or I don't know if it was 3, but it was more than 1.
Yeah, so it was a different, like, knowing that it takes a different person. Like, and I think that stepped off the other ones. Like, what do you do when no one's looking, right? What do you do behind closed doors? Like, what's your even sleeping schedule like? Like, what are your daily habits? That whole other animal aspect is todo como todo en uno. And then managing money, bro. Like, even back then, like, it was, we were making stupid money to be in Mexico, right? And I came back with You know, like,
Yeah.
se vacío,
With memories.
Yeah, memories. That's what I'm not going to take that away from you. That, you know, pero sí, it's just like a real, like a, ¿cómo se diría? Like a reality check. Once I got back, and I'm like, fuck, like, no, like that was fun, but it was, you know, that was all it was. You know, and I opportunities slipping through the cracks, I think, is what the takeaway there was. It's like, how can you, you know, another opportunity, y luego se te va. So that's one thing, again, in this business, that's not going to be the case. Like, no, you know, we're going to capitalize on that.
So let's tell our people how, when we met, you had your master's degree. ¿Ya te habías recibido, or you were still finishing up your master's? So you had your master's, you were thinking of moving out of state. Yeah. Even without your master's, you were struggling to find a good opportunity. Was that the case, or?
100%. Yeah, it's my thing was, so I have a bachelor's in criminal justice. It was like, hey, human performance or criminal justice to finish with becado, right, with your scholarship. Otherwise, you're paying.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, give me criminal justice. Pero luego ya para la maestría, yeah, I went to go coach in West Virginia. I was a graduate assistant pitching coach there. We did very well. And I got my master's program that year, and they invited me to come back as a hired position. And I was going to be making $18,000 a year, living in West Virginia. No iba a hacer nada. Like, it was.
He was considering to move to West Virginia for a salary of what, brother?
Of $18,000 a year, with housing paid for.
Y yo me acuerdo que cuando lo conocí, y con un ratito de escucharlo platicar, just get a feel for like his intellect, his people skills, his heart. Came from a professional athlete background. I was like, bro, you're not leaving for no fucking 18,000, unless it's like exactly what you wanted to do when you grew up. If it's pursuing passion, then I still think it's probably not in the right sequence. Get your money game like situated, and then go out and pursue your passions. But if it's what you want to do, I mean, that's what I believe a better strategy to be. But if you want to go because of that, then sometimes it's hard to like try to cut someone's wings that way. But yeah, no, I was like, fuck that.
They had te cuento. It was 2020. It was 2020, and so I came back, and I tried to play as long as I could, or be involved with baseball as long as I could, because I didn't know what I was going to do in the real world. I didn't know. I was like, I'm not the, you know, I've been on my own liberty, like since I guess out of high school. I had no really work schedule. Like, no tenía, like, no clocking in, no clocking out. Yeah, I had baseball stuff, but that was.
Wow, bro, I hadn't thought about that.
Think about
I'm the same. Yo también, bro. A los 19 me fui.
Entonces, para que uno piense, saliendo de aquí o llegando a la casa, voy a tener que una chamba and apply, and then now I'm 9 to 5. You know, it didn't feel right. So I was always trying to stay involved with baseball. But then, so then I went to, I was in line. I was a long-term substitutes teacher at Ameristar of C High School in San Pedro Catholic High School, and the assistant baseball coach there, right? And then the COVID season ended. COVID ended that season, and we just didn't go back. But that August is where, during June, July, that's when you and I had connected. I saw you in LA, right? And I think we'll touch on the story if we haven't yet. It'll be in another one.
No, we will in a little bit.
About how we met, and it was just like the pura chiripado, pura casualidad. That's a big casualidad. You know, that's a big.
No, God has a sense of humor, and it's interesting how He has been connecting con Isaac. Isaac lo conocí as an Uber driver. Cuando iba a tirar party, bro, it was like in 2016, 2017. Una, no tenía feria. I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. But another one was that, I was in TJ tirando party. And as I hop into the Uber, and he's going to take us to our Airbnb. No, yeah, but he's listening to Grant Cardone, bro. Oh, no. And at that season is when I got introduced to him, and I'm obsessed with that shit, bro. And I'm like, hey, bro, ¿hablas inglés? ¿Hablas inglés? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Hey, you like this guy too? And he was all about personal development. And I told him, hey, bro, I don't know when, but like one day you and I are going to work together. But that was way before anything. And talking about planting seeds, Danny, today you were telling about all the seeds you're planting. And then bro, I don't even have access to my bank account right now. Like, he runs the whole shit. Imagínate. Anyways, so then let's talk about that, how we met.
Yeah, so this were I must have been like when I you know I told you I came back and went to Harvard.
Yeah.
I must have went to that must have been around that time, brother. Porque otherwise I would have been in summer school at New Mexico. Yeah, I had to be here.
So what do you think it was like? What year?
I'm a sophomore in college.
So is that like 2011?
That's 2012.
2012.
2012.
So in 2012, that's when we met.
Junior or senior in college.
Yeah, because I remember I was probably wearing my little soccer gear, and then I see this handsome. I think I'm a good looking dude, but then this guy shows up, and I'm like, oh shit, he's better looking than I am. and then we were on the same age.
Yeah, so yeah,
and then we just started chopping it up a little bit.
It's crazy, pero es la cosa que sea el mismo camión de acá de Modesto a Long Beach y luego a Tijuana, okay. Pero luego que sea el mismo camión cruzando la frontera a ir a Guadalajara, like that's a whole nother, you know what I mean? And era el mismo camión hasta Guadalajara también. You guys were going a Puerto Vallarta y tu mamá te hizo cargar en la...
Me hizo cargar maletas. Me dijo, si quieres ir a México, ya sé que no tienes ni un 5. Así que tengo que llevar estas 2 maletas grandes y no me dejan llevarlas en el avión. Se tienen que ir en camión. Así que ahí están tus boletos para ti y tu primo y llévenme estas maletas. Para que, you know.
Igual con mi mamá, me va igual, siempre me mandaba, retecado de maletas, right?
Oh, that's so funny.
Me my brother, yo mi hermano, so, y usualmente no agarramos el Greyhound, siempre agarramos, we get a ride, right? We get TJ, pero esa vez agarramos el Greyhound. Anyways, en el mismo camión hasta Guadalajara, y no sé si han viajado a Guadalajara en camión de Tijuana.
Son como en 2 semanas.
6 horas. Le recomiendo viajar de noche, 2 noches al día.
Hey, thank you for that. I dispensed, or not dispensed, but like you're welcome for the tip.
Ya le mandamos el invoice. Entonces era, y sí, que cada parada, you know, unos taquitos or something, and we just chopped it up. Y me recuerdo que I think it was the Instagram had just popped off that time.
Sí, era cuando apenas estaba empezando Instagram.
Entonces sí, y luego conectamos y ya de ahí, whatever. Empezamos a seguirlo, yo lo miraba, estaba en Puerto Vallarta.
Yo te miraba a ti también, bro.
Una vez, no sé si recuerdas, pero un story, un post tuyo, and I don't know why I remember that, pero ¿sabes quién está, qué presidente de México está en el bill de Nieto? O sea, como Benito Juárez, no sé. Pero dice, no sé quién es este güey, pero lo estoy tratando como el Benjamin. I don't know why I remember that, because I was like, oh, I don't know who that is either.
Y que me dicen, no es presidente, es... Te lo juro. Alguien me dijo eso. No es presidente, es something else.
Like a civil rights.
Yeah, algo así. That was funny. That's crazy. I remember that post too. Porque sí me comentó alguien eso, and I was like, oh, that was pretty stupid.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
So, entonces, desde ese entonces, and then it was just aquí como dos follow.
No, pero pudieran haber pasado años sin mandarnos nada.
Yeah, it was 10 years. Era fácil 10 years.
10 años. Okay.
2012?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking 2020.
Okay.
Fueron como 9 años, casi 10 años.
Yo me acuerdo que me metí a ver, cuando miraba que sí le hiciste a las big leagues, dije yo, wow, bro, that's so sick, because we met como cuando los dos estábamos con el mismo sueño, y yo me sentía, bro, como, like, yo fracasé, bro. Te lo juro, I was like, he's fucking living the professional dream.
You're like, I should have done baseball. I mean, when you
No, but I just thought it was sick. I was like, man, that's fucking sick. He made his dream come true. That's fucking sick.
And to my point here, a lo que voy es because no hay manera de explicar. Like, there's no way I can't say, you know, and it's blessing, and it's not. I don't say it like no. Just I hope you understand how grateful and how in disbelief I really am, and how endeudado estoy con Diosito por su manera de ser con nosotros, you know, en veces sin la justificación que se le debe, you know, like sometimes it's like why, like, and I think I know why, like internally I have planes grandes y todo, y lo único.
You've been a blessing to my life, bro.
And so have you, brother. And so
you know why? Because desde que entraste, tú me empezaste a apoyar con my personal business. One, you did it better than I did, because I always thought I was a good communicator, that I was good with the agents or negotiating, until I heard you. I was like, oh shit, like it's almost better that I don't get involved at all with my personal business. But more than that, it allowed for me to get time back so that I could focus on growing the entire company that helps everybody, bro. So that was because of you, bro.
No, it's because of us. And
That's crazy.
and I'll tell you one thing, entrando, and it's still like, we didn't really know much. I remember in the beginning, it was like, it was me, Fernando, there was like 3 of us. Remember?
Juanito.
Yeah, you guys, I'm not really hiring anymore. And then it was like, Andy doesn't have time to train. So you were like, I'm not training anymore. Like, if you want to come in, like you didn't say it directly, but it was like, it was, if you want to come in, you like, yeah, and my skip was no, like the training is not going to be here. Initially, it was like, you'll be trained here by Andy. Then I was like, boom, si quieres entrarle, we're going to train you, but Modesto, so fuga pa Modesto.
Oh, bro. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. This is crazy.
And so that's why I mean, like, in reality, like you once we came back after that,
Let's talk about that training in Modesto. People need to know about those bold moves. Danny just helped me make a video, and it was about, there are times in your life, bro, where you're going to have to do something extremely courageous. Like, really just roll the dice, go all in, 100%. Put them all on the table. You know what I mean? And de lo que está hablando Jonny Boy es de que llegó al punto del negocio donde yo ya no me podía enfocar a entrenar. Ya eran muchos los que ocupaban mi atención y un desmadre, bro. So, like, I couldn't do that type of training. So then they told you and Fernando, hey, like, if you guys want to join the team, we'll host training, but it's going to be in Modesto, and that's how far from here?
That is 5 hours, 5.5.
Okay, so let's talk about, like, go a little bit into details about how that what type of mission you guys busted.
Yeah. So in 2020, living with my in-laws, my son is, I think it's 6 months old, and it's at that, it's like, I don't know, I think COVID had started, it was right pre-COVID time, like it was like August of 2020, so yeah, casi. And it was an opportunity. It was just like, it was like a take it or leave it, because I know I had hit you up like, hey brother, like, quiero ver qué onda, what do you
I see that you moved back there. You're in LA now. Congratulations. I see what you're doing. I'm curious what you do. And then we met up and you said, but like, tell me more. Is it like life insurance? Not to, but he's like, I don't want to be, like.
How are you perceived?
How are you perceived in the marketplace? Do people talk good or bad about your profession? Like, no, bro, I mean, that's not a problem. I like that you care about that, because I have the same values, where I don't want to be a hardcore salesman or a pushy salesman. If it's a good service that we're providing for our people, then sign me up. I have to believe in the product, because I sold cars, I sold knives, I sold a bunch of shit that if it wasn't a product that I believed in, I would also reflect that at like, the scoreboard, the leaderboard. And I was never there. But it wasn't until I found mortgages that I fucking rocked it, because I believe in it.
Yeah,
but
100%.
But then let's talk.
So then, and he didn't extend. You didn't say like, yeah, come on over, like in the beginning. And I didn't go there seeking that. But I was like, okay, well, he did extend it, so that's not like anybody can come in thing. So I was like, okay, cool, right? And then I was like, good. But then it was just like, I am and my brother, he talked about kid, and I think Fernando's kid, they was like, Danny, you should do it. Are you watching the show?
Yeah.
And then my brother was the one, because my brother met.
Oh my God.
And I was telling my brother about it. I was like, yeah, he didn't really, he said, yeah, you'll let me know. And he's like, just text him, like, get the way, like, mom always says, pega, y si no despegado estaba. So I was like, all right.
Wow.
Right, cool. So I was like, all right. And then you're like, you know what, bro, like you're about to go to Cancun. You're like, I'm on my way to Cancun. As soon as I get back, just be ready to rock.
I was going to go to Cancun?
Yeah, you're in Cancun. Little trip.
Little Cancun trip right now. Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, so then you're like, be ready to go. We're going to have a training at one of our top offices. That was when we really had an office in Pasadena. Mm-hmm. And I remember being in there like, deer in the headlights. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, all right. Like, all right. And then, that was day one. And then that next Tuesday was, all right, Modesto. Fuga pa Modesto. It was Monday through Friday. Like 8 to 5 was the schedule, right? So I vouched I committed to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because Monday, obviously, I had the baby rest. So Monday, I would be on Zoom training. I would drive out Monday night, get there for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I would drive back Friday after the training. So 2 times a week, going back and forth. I was doing that, and so was Fernando.
6 hours.
6 hours. And Fernando would go, I think it was 3 hours. That's it, from Salinas, and then eventually we shared the garage. Like then it was.
Se quedaban en el garage ahí donde mi papá me...
We had garage. We would hook up some lunch. Teníamos como $7, and I think we've told the story, but
Tell it, bro.
it was we were balling on a budget, right? Like Fernando had kids that he was, driving away from. Entonces todo era en casa, todo atrás, and we were there, and I was like, brother, I got like $5. He's like, I got like $5. And como de $7 a $10, I'm like, okay.
Entre los dos.
I was like, I could make some, and it was only like 3 days that we were there, right? So it was, we can make it work.
$10 for 3 days.
$10 for 3 days. And we would buy a little, medio kilo de arroz, right? Medio kilo de arroz. Compramos una bolsita de lechuguita con broccoli, right? That was maybe like, what, I don't know, like $3.50 right there. Y luego como una libra o media libra de pollo, otros $3. Well, right? That's $7, right? And then maybe like un litro de agua cada uno, boom. That was $10.
Wow.
And we just had lemon pepper, un poquito de mostaza, para los que no quieren una sazonadita ahí. Mostaza con lemon pepper.
En el garage tenía
I took a little portable stove. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and ahí como el que whoever was in the garage before had left some pots. So I was like, oh, perfect.
Me, that was me.
Me llevé el can and yeah, we made some rice, and we would take, arroz con pollo y ensalada.
Bien humildes, güey. Un pinche garage ahí lleno de... ¿No llegaron a ver cucarachas? ¿Qué tal ratas? Porque estaban las dos, bro. They both are residents there, too. Anyways, ¿y luego?
You see, and so that was it. It was just like, it was the beauty and the struggle, pero uno...
Oh, time out. Tell the story, because estaban bien limitados con esa madre, right? Y llegaban, se llevaban su lonchecito a la oficina, bro. Y ahí todos...
Bolsa de sándwich, Ziploc bags, porque no había topo, güey. Era un Ziploc bag, so...
En la oficina... es muy común que uno comparta lo que tenga, bebidas, comida. Somos como una familia. Pero el pedo ahí fue de que nuestra recepcionista en ese momento no sabía que estábamos limitados aquí con la situación de Fernando y con Jonny. Y no sé cuántas veces pasó, pero...
Más uno llega, hey, Dani, aquí hay fueguito si quieres, a la raza, pues, hey, aquí hay si quieren, pues,
se chingaron el noche.
Un plato para dos, fue para tres, pero se hizo, pero it was a joke. Se hizo como un chiste después porque ya contamos la historia y tal. Oh, I didn't know.
Yo me quedé, cuando nos la contaron después dije, hey, bro, no la chinguen, bro, no. Está bien que uno esté dispuesto a hacer ese tipo de, no sé, de sacrificio, pero uno puede apoyar con algo, bro. No tiene que estar sufriendo tanto. Y ya que nos contó de que nuestra recepcionista se comió ahí la mitad del lonche, bro, we were giving her a hard time. And then, like, for you guys, that shit was crazy.
It was nice. Y ese tiempo, pues, es algo muy bonito porque son memorias que uno, now looking back, like, you're like, what? Like, it was just the beauty and the struggle, not even a struggle, but the beauty and the new or the unknown, even though it's usually a fear. Because it was like, yeah, I'm scared. Like, I don't really understand this whole thing. Like, but I know it just feels right. It's not no funny business. We're here to help people out. It's like, we believe in the product, obviously. Like, and it's ya cuando al punto que llegamos that we were like, okay, our training here is done, right? Let's see what we grasp. Right? Hicimos una mesa como esta. Y hay una foto ahí donde yo y Fernando, we did a timeline of like, what we like, our understanding, okay, like, porque es un proceso. And we think, oh, you want to buy a house, pero si abres el umbrella de lo que es comprar una casa, coño, bro. Like, have you ever seen I'll have to reference it later, but hay como una, en Men in Black, está una película donde el vato abre, he opens up the bottom of the printer, or like the fax machine, hay un vato fumando, like, little alien, and like,
en chinga.
Un chico de malo, Yeah, and so once you open up the world of mortgages, you're like, wow, it's otro mundo entero, right?
Yeah.
So once I figured that out, we're like, all right, let's see if we understand this. And lo que voy es que the beauty and the struggle as in, like, fuimos y nosotros pues empezando y los que nos entrenaban también, they're like, hey, like, I'm doing this today. So today you're going to learn how to open escrow, even though that's not the first step.
It's not the sequence.
And so now, to see how we have it structured now and how far we've gotten and how the new
generation,
the new family members that come in are now the support that they have and the structure and how we go about learning the game of mortgages and home loans, it's a beautiful thing because it's more efficient.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we're definitely proud of.
This year you're having your best year, bro. What would you attribute that to?
Obviously everything is God's timing, right? It's the main thing there is the licensing, right? That's the obvious. Es lo más obvio. But more than anything, it's the reps. The fact that I was your assistant first, it makes all the difference. Because in anything that we do, right, it's the reps, right? One of my coaches says the key to success, Tim Mercich, the key to success is positive repetition, right? So repetition there is a key word, right? But also positive. And with you, it was a lot of like we got files, y como éramos tú, yo, Fernando, Juanito, éramos, so we had the chance to like, yo, I could look over and be like, what's up with this? Like, and then we were, ahí si entrabas y ta, okay, cool. And so that part of like, I need an answer quick or I need help. And something that I always took away was if you're taking longer than 2 minutes to figure something out, longer than 5 minutes, pick up the phone and call somebody. Yeah. Right. So I think the main, what I attribute to it most is the quality of reps that we had in the first few years with the not so like with the difficult files to where now, I guess we can call it like being on my own, trying to generate my own business and getting a more of a broader knowledge or an understanding of the products. I believe that it's like the niche, like to know how, essentially like know what the problem is for most self-employed borrowers or buyers that already own homes.
Yeah.
What's the problem? We don't qualify because I'm doing, I have a house and there's no way I'm going to afford another one because my taxes are not, lined up the way they should be. Like most self-employed borrowers or buyers qualify on paper, meaning taxes, to buy their first home, usually. Maybe another one if rental income comes into play. But ya más de dos, it's going to be really tough to qualify for something with taxes. So yeah. And I've noticed that, and I've noticed the trend, and I think doubling down and really, doubling down on self-employed buyers and thinking outside of the box, providing other solutions, other ways to finance and to buy properties, I think is what's helped.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's safe to say everybody in our team knows that there's, the beginners, intermediate, solid LO, advanced LO. You're an advanced LO, bro. So that's why I'm glad that we're exposing you today, because I don't know how many agents are out there that don't have an advanced LO as a partner. If you don't, just one time, I'm sure that if he proves himself, he delivers on the promise, then that's the rest is on you. But what is it that you like about what we do, bro? What's your favorite thing about being in the mortgage game?
Educating, providing information, and yeah, I think the educating part, because that's what I liked most. That's what I enjoyed most coming in, was like, man, like esto no es información que a cualquiera se le da, a cualquiera se le propone. So what I like most about this is not necessarily like helping people buy a house, because that's the ultimate goal. That's what the house is given, but it's educating them on how they did it or how they're going to do it, right? And how they're going to know when they're ready, because right now a lot of us aren't ready, right? But we think we're ready just because we got about $15,000 or $20,000 in the bank. But then we really see that that doesn't mean you're ready, right? There's a lot more that goes into play. So what I like about it is the education part, the transferring of knowledge part, the transferring of just game, like business game, money game, like credit score game, like, you know what I mean? Because we are blessed to kind of have, or at least be able to touch different aspects of business or financial.
Oh, go ahead.
So to that, like to be able to educate and just be a source of information, like just a phone call away from helping some people maybe gain clarity, right? Or help us gain clarity. Because the only thing that I want to know or make sure that we understand is that, or at least the people that are watching this, that follow me, is like, I'm not like out here trying to like just fucking like, I got it going on. Not like we are as we speak doing what we're saying, what we're talking about. So it's not like, I'm saying this because I already own 2 homes, 3 homes, 4 homes. No, or this is what you do to fix your credit because I got an 800 credit score. It's because we are also going through it and saving and fixing our stuff to then,
be a credible source.
Yeah, like, well, walk it like you talk it type.
Yeah. ¿Qué tal the next gen family? For some of the people that we will be adding onto the family, or people that don't know us from being like inside, or maybe have not met us yet, how would you describe the next gen family to someone that doesn't know us?
Like straight up raza, and humble. I think if you think of like an ideal, or not even an ideal, but like if you talk about like, oh, like what's a good culture, or what's an environment, what's a good work environment, like we all just assume that we know what it is, but then we expect it, or we assume that that's how it's going to be when we get to a certain place. But like to come back to answer your question, brother, it's a humble crowd. It's a Mexican crowd. It's a Latino crowd for sure, right? And I think we're pretty proud of that. But it's a hardworking crowd. It's like the epitome of what a Latino group is going to be. But just it's also un grupo como bien como like I'm not gonna get offended if you tell me like put the fucking chips down, dog. Like I'm not gonna get offended. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get offended if you hear me talking to a client saying, oh no, like like funny bit. Like I'm not gonna get offended if you call me out. And I think that's one thing that we have here is like it's constructive criticism, but with like a more of like a family type, like brother, like I love you, but like the mom is way, like what I mean, like it's like that's okay. And even like the peer-to-peer accountability is huge here, and I think that that's something that most of us, like even in our own family, I've seen it, and we see it. I'm sure you've seen it too. Like it's like the fear of hurting someone's feelings, or the fear of telling someone how you really feel, or like that they're fucking up or messing up. I'm sorry. Like just the fear of like, I'd rather just avoid the I'd rather not.
Yeah.
And they're just crucial conversations that we have here that I don't see, us having outside as much or as often as we have them here. And I think that's what's different here. We're not scared of the crucial conversations, and we're not scared of a little bit of, what do you call it? Like a little kick in the butt, or, no, we don't shy away from a crucial conversation that is going to benefit, both of us in the long run, or the group ultimately in the long run.
¿Qué tal algunas palabras for anybody looking to join the business? What should they be preparing for mentally? Like, think back of year 1, year 2, before you start seeing traction.
Yeah.
What do they need to mentalize for?
Mentalize for and I hope, and I don't mean this like but I'm pretty biased in this because I played sports. But I hope that if you are coming on, you have a sports background, because you know what it means to go to practice every day, first semester. Say you have baseball or your spring semester sport, you're practicing first semester, but your season don't really start till the next semester, right? And then the next year. So I'll give you an example. When I was a freshman at San Pedro High School, we got our new coach, Bobby Ramirez. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. Our senior year, he took us to Dodger Stadium. We went to Dodger Stadium. Great, like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Talk about memories. But it wasn't his first year, and it didn't happen in the second year. It didn't happen in the third year. It really hasn't. It didn't happen till the fourth year, right? And a lot of times, what I just keep like getting slapped in the face with like aha moments of like, man, this whole baseball or sports background and business, delayed gratification has so much, like, it almost goes hand in hand with the fact that it's not going to happen now, but it's the work that you put in right now that's going to matter later, right? It's the reps that you put in now that's going to show, like when it's game time, when it's bases loaded, 2 outs, who's gonna show up here? The guy that's ready, or the guy that's not? Right, and that's where it's at. So if I have a message for anyone that's trying to join the business, or thinking about, what the mortgage, just thinking about joining real estate or anything like this, where you are your own boss essentially, is just know that it takes a different type of person. Like what got you here won't get you there, and that's something that I don't want to say struggled with, but I have for sure like been more aware of, is that that I have to be able to look in the mirror and know that I put the work in. I have to look in the mirror and know that like the only way, like there's no, like if I don't make it happen is because I wasn't ready or I wasn't prepared enough, or if they didn't work with me, it's not, you know, it's here. And until I can look in the mirror and just be like, cool, you know, at the end of the day, you know, and that's kind of the goal here is to be able to look in the mirror at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, and be like, all right, you know, because this calendar year, like January through December, this will be my first calendar year being fully licensed.
Nice.
You know, so it's gonna be like, okay, at the end of the year, what's it gonna look like? I already know, you know, it's just because there's gonna be somewhere I'm like,
We're breaking 6 figures?
We're breaking 6 figures. Feels good.
That's what's up. Brother, where do our people follow you?
For right now, just Facebook, Instagram.
What's your handle?
Instagram is at Mota, Jonathan, Mata, Jonathan. And then Facebook is just first name, last name, Jonathan Mota. But yeah, and you guys need help on cologne game, perfume game, I got you. You know, that's just a little side, but you know, that's who we are, baby. Like, I like to smell good, and you know, and I got some good recommendations. We got a $20 budget, $20 budget. You let me know, like whatever it is. And you try to buy, sell, refinance, you know, that's a given.
All right, bro.
That's it.